Okay, hello and welcome everyone to Engineers Ireland's International Women in Engineering Day 2021 celebration. I'm delighted to be your host. My name is Michael Gallagher, and today we're celebrating global engineers who make Ireland a better place to live. And I think we have two excellent examples of that today. So yeah, just to say, this is really, really exciting, and I'll introduce both our speakers in detail in a while. And to say that if you have any questions about this is our email contact is membership@Engineers Ireland. To say about Engineers Ireland, we're the professional body for engineers in Ireland. So we award a range of professional titles, everything from the associate engineer to chartered engineer. And it's a great way to continually professionally develop yourself as an engineer and to be recognized by your peers. We have a lot of international agreements for recognizing engineers from different countries, whether that's the Washington Accord you'll notice in light blue in this, or whether it's the European Network of Accredited Engineering Education institutions, which are in dark blue, and we're one of the lucky few places in the world who have dual accreditation with those two institutions. So it's a great place to be if you're interested in having a global career like the two speakers we're going to hear from later on today. In Engineers Ireland, we're very big about our CPD. We know all our members need 35 hours at least continuous professional development a year at least, and there's loads of different ways of getting this, whether it's through your professional body or whether it's through kind of mentoring or coaching within your workplace. So just a reminder to be logging your CPD regularly. Don't be like me. I have to log all 35 hours of mine. I'm getting way behind and we're halfway through the year. And the way we make it easy for our members is that you can log it all on your membership profile, and there's loads of great examples. Like earlier on today, we had a free CPD event for all our members. For our international engineers, it's super easy to join. You just go on to engineersireland.ie and you just apply to join. And what we've done now is we've created a special webpage for those who are joining overseas, and you can find out about how to get your qualification verified and how to join us in as easy a place as possible. That's everything I wanted to talk about today. I'm delighted now to hand it over to our first speaker, and what I might do is I'll begin my introduction of Jancy George. So Jancy George is a chartered civil engineer with 15 years of experience in design, management and delivery of significant national transport projects in Ireland. She holds a degree in civil engineering from India and a Master's in Construction Informatics and an MBA from Dublin Institute of Technology. That's TU Dublin now. At present, she works with Transport Infrastructure Ireland, TII, which is a state agency responsible for the delivery of national road and light rail projects. She is part of a TII team responsible for overall oversight over the delivery of the Roads Capital Programme for the Southwest region. She is passionate about the implementation of BIM in state agencies and has published technical papers on same. She is a committee member of Women in Engineering Group in Engineers Ireland, and she hopes to inspire more girls to consider engineering as their career.
I'm just trying to share my screen.
Yeah, that looks great. I can see it now.
Thanks, Michal, and hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm delighted to be here on this special day and share my experience as an engineer in Ireland. I'm Jancy George. I work with Transport Infrastructure Ireland as an assistant engineering inspector. So in this presentation, I'll be talking a little bit about my background and my career journey as an engineer in Ireland and the significant projects that I've worked and my involvement with Engineers Ireland as a volunteer. And also I'd like to share the best part of being an engineer in public sector in Ireland. So about me, I'm from India, a state called Tamil Nadu. I was born and brought up near a suburban area close to the Chennai city. As you know, India is a very beautiful country, and we have gorgeous food and amazing architecture as well. I've shown here in the presentation a Brihadishwara temple, which is UNESCO heritage site. It was built in 16th century, and the whole temple was built with granite stones. So if you visit India, I would advise you to visit Tamil Nadu and the beautiful temples there. So coming back to the topic, I finished my civil engineering in Government College of Engineering, Tinelveli. And I'm very proud that majority of the students in the class were girls. And also in my family, we are 3 girls, and all 3 of us are engineers. I would like to share this information in this presentation just to emphasize that girls can very well study engineering and take engineering as a career. I started my career actually in Ireland as a graduate engineer in 2006 with the Railway Procurement Agency. Railway Procurement Agency was the state agency responsible for the delivery of light rail projects in Dublin or Ireland. Then I got promoted as a civil engineer with Roads and Drainage Department. Further down, RPA was merged with National Roads Authorities to form a new organization called Transport Infrastructure Ireland. And in this new organization, I took up a new role called Assistant Engineering Inspector. So overall, I have like 15 years of experience in design, management, and delivery of transport projects in public sector in Ireland. So while I was working full-time, I also managed to complete 2 part-time courses. I am very much interested in application of information technology in construction industry. So I studied construction informatics with DIT, and later I completed my MBA from DIT as well. Recently, I got chartered from Engineers Ireland through experiential learning route. When I say inspector to anyone, they would be puzzled to see what does an inspector do in public sector. So I would like to take this opportunity to explain my role within TII. First of all, TII is a state agency which is responsible for the maintenance and delivery of national roads and light rail projects in Ireland. So I work in the national roads section of TII. The inspector role would be mainly on the national roads section. The responsibility of the inspector would be the overall oversight in the delivery of the roads capital program through the local authorities. TII has divided Ireland into 4 sections for the effective delivery of the schemes. So I work as an assistant engineering inspector with the Southwest region, particularly for the Cork region. So we are 2 engineering inspectors in that region, a senior engineering inspector and myself. So you can see in the picture there, they are the main linkage between the local authorities and the TII management. So that TII engineering inspector would be monitoring the progress of the projects, like the roads capital program for that region, and then reporting back to the TII management. And also they have various other responsibilities as well, which I would be covering in the next slide. So the role is similar to the project coordinator or a project manager role. So my job responsibilities are to assist in the management and delivery of the National Roads Program through the Cork County Council or the Cork City Council. And I advise on technical, environmental, and financial aspects of the project. And in terms of the project management, I ensure the effective development of the scheme concepts and timely implementation of the schemes. In terms of the financial management, I assist in establishing the comprehensive project budgets and estimates for the approval from TII senior management. I assist in developing annual grant allocations for the region. In terms of the contract management, I'm involved in the contract administration and assist in the local authorities in the preparation of like tender documents, contract documents. And if I'm involved in a direct project that is the project delivered directly by TII, then it would be managing various consultants and the contractor as well. In terms of the corporate governance, it is to ensure the appropriate corporate governance are fulfilled, make sure that the TII policies, procedures, rules, and guidelines are followed when projects are implemented or developed. I also assist in the development of procedures, manuals, and guidelines, or the policies as they relate to the Roads Capital Programme. So this is the portfolio of the National Roads project that I manage in the Cork region. I have like 7 major projects. When I say major projects, it would be the projects about 20 million budget. So 7 major projects, 5 minor projects, and around 20 payment improvement schemes, 4 safety-related schemes, and 3 active travel schemes. The active travel schemes would be the Cycleway schemes. And then I'm also responsible for the National Cycleway that is between Galway to Athlone. I'd like to talk about some of the significant national projects that I'm involved. The first project is the Luas Cross City project. It was one of the interesting project that I was involved in the beginning of my career. So when I was working with RPA as a road design engineer, my role in this project was to develop the detailed geometric design of roads and related infrastructure, and also design integration with many diverse disciplines and the production of the specimen design for the project. So it was a very complex project, around 6 kilometers with 13 Luas stops and redesigning of 30 traffic junctions. I think the budget of this scheme was about 350 million. The next interesting project that I'm involved at present is Dunkettle Interchange upgrade in Cork. The budget of the scheme is around 215 million. It is basically the reconfiguration of the roundabout to a free-flowing interchange. It links between different national roads and the nearby Little Island industrial area. There's many high risks considering the location of the project and many stakeholders. So TII decided to deliver the project directly, and it had huge political and public attraction because it was initially decided to deliver through NEC contract, but TII couldn't agree the target cost with the contractor, and it was retendered as design and build contract, and at present it is at construction stage. So my role in this project is assisting the TII project manager and technical and commercial aspects of the project, manage like consultant contracts and other contracts. And again, it's monitoring the progress of the project, like program, budget, deliverables, and health and safety aspects. The next interesting project that I'm involved, which is delivered through the Cork County Council, is the N22 Ballyvourney to Macroom project. The budget of this scheme is around 280 million. It is a 22-kilometer Type 2 dual carriageway project. It involves 18 road bridges, and also it involves significant environmental responsibilities as well. We have a plan for the protection of Kerry slug habitat and sustaining the endangered freshwater pearl mussel as well. The picture that I've shown in the presentation is a bridge across the Bohill River, which was constructed using push mechanism. to avoid any contamination in the river and to protect the freshwater pearl mussel. And I think Engineers Island did a separate CPD on this project. So if anyone is interested, maybe you can check in the Engineers Island website. My role in this project is again monitoring the project program, budget, and deliverables, and advise application of the CII standards and guidelines. Another interesting project that I'm working is the National Cycleway. So it is part of the Cycleway from Dublin to Galway. It is around 270 kilometers car-free corridor. When it's completed, it will facilitate the first leg of the Eurovelo cycle network, and we are delivering the scheme through Westmeath, Roscommon, and Galway County Council. It is around budget of estimation of 80 million. Currently, it is at the route selection stage. I have more responsibility in this project as I'm directly reporting to the head of roads capital on 2 minor projects within the scheme, and also reporting to a regional manager for the major project. I'm also very much active in Engineers Island. I am a volunteer with the Women in Engineering group as a committee member. The Women in Engineering group was launched recently in March. The main objectives of this group is attracting more female students into engineering courses, support women engineers who left the profession to return to the work, support women who have already chosen engineering as careers. So we have a group in LinkedIn for this, and as you can see in the presentation, and I welcome everyone to join the group, both men and women, and you can get the day-to-day updates in the group, or you can contact me in the LinkedIn and I will help you to be added into the group. So I'd like to share the best part of being an engineer in public sector. I enjoy solving different engineering problems day to day, and I think it is a great opportunity to get involved in the significant national projects. I get a sense of accomplishment when the projects are completed and used by public. And also I like the long drives, so I enjoy traveling to the site and also to attend different meetings with the local authorities. In a way, I'm working in a position that is contributing to the improvement of the quality of life and economic growth in Ireland. And also, when I say I'm an engineer in public sector, I get huge respect from the public, and I completely enjoy that. And I also have a very good work-life balance in this job. I have 2 kids, so it is also very important for me. So I'd like to finish my presentation saying that anyone should be able to excel in any career if he or she has the passion, drive, and skills regardless of gender. Happy International Women in Engineering Day. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Chancy, and happy International Women's Day to you too. I'm really excited to dig into some of these topics in the questions and answers section after Tanya's presentation. And yeah, full disclosure, I live in Athlone, so I definitely want to do some secret off-the-record lobbying about the this exciting cycle route. So just kidding. Allow me now to share my screen and get ready for the introduction of our second speaker. So yeah, hopefully that's coming up now, and it's my great pleasure now to hand over the presentation to Tanya Volchink. She is a chartered structural engineer from Cape Town, South Africa. She obtained her bachelor's degree from Stellenbosch University and has spent the last 8 years designing, managing and delivering projects, including large commercial developments and high-rise buildings. She is currently working as a senior structural engineer at DBFL Consulting Engineers. Tanya is passionate about the technical aspects of her field and about communicating these to others and inspiring the next generation of engineers. While not working, she spends her time exploring Ireland for new adventures and honing her culinary skills. So I'm going to hand it over now to Tanya, and thanks very much.
Thank you for the introduction, Michal. So engineering, and especially engineering in construction, is predominantly a male industry. But despite this, I've had some incredible opportunities in my career so far, and today I would like to share a little bit about this. So I grew up in a small town called Malmesbury, about 60 kilometers outside of Cape Town. I then studied and graduated from the University of Stellenbosch in 2012 with a degree in civil engineering. I have since lived in Pretoria, Cape Town, and Dublin. I started my career in Pretoria, where I worked for Willie Parsons. I actually started out in the QS department for 6 weeks before they moved me to the structures department. I started out by doing drafting, detailing, and elemental designs of schools. But I went along to client meetings and site visits. In Cape Town, I worked for Sutherland Engineers, where I progressed from design engineer to team leader over the next 5 years. In the first 3 years, I gained invaluable experience by designing complex structures, working with less and less supervision, and taking up more responsibility. Some of the projects of note that I designed in this period included a 21-story building in a seismic zone and an office block with 5 levels of basement. I first got the opportunity of running my own project at the beginning of 2016. I started with small projects, which included student housing, a small warehouse, and a small service station. Although there certainly were some minor teething issues along the way, I was always met with mutual respect by the client, the consulting team, and the contractor. Then in 2017, I was entrusted to design the biggest project that my company ever took on at that time. It consisted of 444 apartments over 2 31-story towers. It housed 36,000 square meters of retail space over a 6-story podium, and it included 120,000 square meters of parking over 4 stories. I was also promoted to team leader in this period. The main lateral stability cores of the 2 towers were directly above the central circulation atriums of the mall, and I had to introduce a 2-meter daylight slab with 1.7 by 1.75 meter columns to not only transfer the load, but also to brace the structure. This was a very challenging project, and I gained experience not only in the design of this complex structure, but also to manage a diverse team of people. My husband and I decided to move to Ireland in 2019. At the time, the industry in South Africa was in a slowdown, and it was a great time to make the move, to see more of the world and to gain international experience. So far at DBFL, I've worked on a few projects as a senior structural engineer. When I came here, I designed and managed a new apartment block in Santry called Swiss Cottage. I also worked as an RE on the retrofitting of the iconic Central Plaza in town, and I'm currently working on the 2 Oaks development on Scholarstown Road, where we are adding 600 new residential units to the market. Here in Ireland, I've also had my first opportunity of working with a female director, Tracy Kearney. It's been an inspiration to work with a female manager. We are working together on a new office block in Ballsbridge, consisting of 10 floors of which 2 are below ground. I must also point out how straightforward it has been to become chartered with Engineers Ireland through the Mutual Recognition Program. I was registered as a professional engineer in South Africa in November 2019. I submitted the required documentations to Engineers Ireland on the same day and got word of my chartered status in December 2019, almost exactly 1 month later. I'm very happy with my career choice. It's an interesting job and each day is different, and it's very rewarding to see your designs become a reality. When I'm not working, I like to travel, explore new places, or you'll find me in the kitchen cooking up new recipes. Before the pandemic hit, my husband and I traveled to Georgia and a few cities in Europe. Since the pandemic, we have done a few staycations in Ireland, and we love exploring this beautiful country. So that's enough about me for now. I personally really like stats, so I did a little bit of research on the topic of engineering, of women in engineering. First up, I have the division between the male and female responders for the Engineers Ireland Salary Survey of 2021. I would think that this is a pretty accurate representation of the split between males and females in the industry. The percentages is shown with the orange line, and it's with the label on the right. So as you can see, it's showing that we have the highest percentage of women in the 1 to 2 year slot, and then we have a steady decline ever since after that. Next up is the salary gap. So this is again from the salary survey done by Engineers Ireland. As you can see, women start out very strong with earning slightly more than men in the beginning of their career. It seems like women in the 3 to 5 years experience and women with more than 26 years of experience have the highest salary gap when compared to their male colleagues, with the gap being more than 15%. The next slide is maternity leave, also from the salary survey. It shows then that an average of only 66% of women receive 26 weeks paid maternity leave. I believe that this benefit increased tremendously in the past few years, but there's obviously still a lot of work to be done on this. DBFL did similar statistics in December 2020. So the next graph is the number of women working at DBFL in December 2020. In December, there were 18% of the company were women, with just 11% in structures. The transportation department is showing a much bigger picture, with 30% being women. So DBFL is actively working towards improving this, and there's a couple of female graduates joining us this year. Although women in the industry might still be low, the diversity in Ireland is increasing at a very fast pace. In December 2020, there were people from 18 different countries working at DBFL all over the world. That's quite incredible. In conclusion, there are definitely some big challenges ahead for women in the industry, and I don't have any immediate answers, but I can point out that Engineers Ireland provides an excellent platform for women in the industry to become involved and inspire the next generation of engineers. I was involved in the STEPS program this year for the primary and transition years, and it was great to see their enthusiasm. We certainly have great talent coming through the ranks, and I hope that we can inspire them to choose engineering as their profession. Thanks, Mial. That's all from me.
Thank you so much, Tanya. Another fantastic presentation. And I guess before I turn off the recording, I just want to say again, a very happy International Women's and Engineering Day to you both. And Tanya, especially thank you for using your platform, your presentation to highlight some of the even using our own research in the salary survey to highlight some of the inequalities that do still exist. I think that was a really also important message to remember all the work that we still need to do. So I'm going to end the recording now, and I am going to open it up to questions and answers, and anyone who wants to come back on screen is welcome to do so. And